If you're okay with what's happening in the US right now, you would have ratted out Anne Frank during the Holocaust, and you cannot convince me otherwise. But Anne Frank wasn't a criminal. Neither are the people who are currently being detained and deported. You're gonna tell me that a 5-year-old getting cancer treatment is a criminal? That parents attending their kids' elementary school graduations deserve to be detained? That people attending their mandated, scheduled court hearings for immigration should be rounded up? You're really gonna sit there and tell me that every single person who's been detained or deported is a criminal? But they entered the country illegally. That is a civil offense, not a criminal offense. Also, if your claim is that you wouldn't have turned in Anne Frank because she wasn't a criminal, you clearly know nothing about World War II. You know nothing about the Nazi occupation, and you know nothing about the Nuremberg laws. Because guess what? When the Nazis rose to power, they made it so that Jews no longer counted as citizens. Instead, they were a subclass. They weren't allowed to own businesses. They weren't allowed to have relationships with non-Jews. Their rights were stripped of them. Their only offense was being Jewish, just as undocumented immigrants' only offense is being undocumented, which again is not a crime, meaning they are not criminals. You truly believe that there are hundreds of thousands of violent, undocumented immigrants in this country that are wreaking havoc on our cities? Congrats, you would have fallen for Nazi propaganda. If you're okay with what's going on in the US right now, you would have ratted out Anne Frank. I stand by what I said, and now I'm gonna back it up. I don't think you're gonna like where this goes, so buckle up, Buttercup. Anne Frank was hiding in her own home country. That's the big difference. Those being deported did enter illegally. Okay, you've got me fired up. I know that you guys have a problem with facts and research, but I don't. And unfortunately for you, I have run out of patience for willful ignorance when all it takes to know that this is incorrect is a simple fucking Google search. Anne Frank was hiding in her own home country. No, she fucking wasn't. Anne Frank was born in Frankfurt, Germany. And when the Nazis took over, she and her family moved to Amsterdam. That's in the Netherlands, for anyone who isn't aware. Not her home country. And guess what? She was not a citizen of the Netherlands. She was, wait for it, an immigrant. Not only that, but the Nuremberg laws made it so that Jewish people were no longer considered citizens, even of countries that they were born in. When the Nazis took over Amsterdam, Anne Frank's family went into hiding, where they were eventually found deported to concentration camps, and most of them died. Now let's get into your next claim. Those being deported did enter illegally. Actually, no, they didn't. For the most part, people who are here as undocumented immigrants entered the country legally. They are undocumented now because they overstayed their visa or had a problem with their visa or couldn't switch their visa. Most of them did not enter illegally. What you're implying here is that the people that Trump is currently deporting could never be documented immigrants. They could never be US citizens. Oh, wait. Yes, they could, because that already fucking happened. A mother and her children who were US citizens were deported. One of those children was going through cancer treatments. You think that's humane? You think that's okay? Yes, the mother was an undocumented immigrant, but her children were born and raised in the US, making them US citizens. That didn't stop them from being deported. I know you guys like to think that there are all these workarounds and that they're doing this the right way, but they're not. They're not. And just because you're unwilling to look things up or pay attention to what's going on in our country does not relieve you of your responsibility to be a decent fucking human being. I know y'all love to dehumanize undocumented immigrants by calling them illegals and not even saying that they are illegal immigrants, but they are people. They are human beings who deserve to be treated better than they are. If you cannot understand that and agree with that, then I simply have no respect for you. Have the day you deserve.